Yo. We back in it. I'm supposed to go somewhere today. My mom's not even here yet. I'm putting off streaming, but we back in it. We about to stream now. Anyways, my I can't even monetize nothing. I ain't get banned or nothing. They got this little AdSense address thing that you gotta do every once in a while. I just ain't did it. They said they gonna send it to me in 3 weeks. So that's what's up. And we still gonna be streaming heavily, so that's not gonna stop us. It's just a little setback.
So on today's Solo Saturday news, we've got WWE releasing 15 wrestlers. We've got the reaction from the wrestling world to all of those releases. TNA have banned blading, and we've got an update on SmackDown moving back to 2 hours. Hi everyone, I am Gareth. This is What Culture Wrestling that you're watching right now with your lovely eyeballs. I'm on my own again because Phil is off having a great time in America and Canada, and he's drinking beer and watching basketball. He's just having fun, isn't he? So send him all your well wishes. He deserves a rest. He deserves a break. But that does mean that I'm here on my own, my silly bald self, talking about a pretty heavy story today. Because we need to talk about all these releases that happened overnight. As I went to bed last night, all was well. I've woken up this morning and the world's on fire. It happens a lot in wrestling, sadly. So we'll kind of break it all down because Fightful Select have thrown out like a follow-up report, really just compiling all the names that we know of so far who have been released, and then obviously this list could change like over the next coming days, coming hours even. Like there could be names added that we just don't know of right now, so we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled and just see what happens next. But so far, when it comes to the main roster, they can confirm that Shayna Baszler, Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Caden Carter and Katana Chance, they were all released from the main roster. So that's a big chunk of names there, pretty consistently on television names really for a lot of those as well. So Fightful Select said that unless we find out they were notified their contracts are expiring, they will have 90-day non-compete clauses, which is pretty standard. Like we know when it comes to WWE, this is what they tend to do. Like they tend to have those kind of written into the contract. So it'll be around 3 months until we see them pop up elsewhere in other companies, that kind of stuff. According to that Fightful Select report, Dakota Kai apparently has already gained a bit of interest from outside companies and top agents in pro wrestling, as they expect her to have plenty of offers. And she's awesome, Dakota Kai. So that's and there's a lot of awesome names in this list anyway, but Dakota Kai just could do so much, so that's good to hear. Shayna Baszler had been helping out at NXT apparently recently, so this has caused a lot of surprise that she's just gone suddenly, just out of nowhere. She re-signed with WWE as well last year, so that's a big shocker. When it comes to NXT, so there's a lot of NXT names that were released as well. So Gigi Dolan, Cora Jade, Gallus, Jakara Jackson, Eddie Thorpe, Javier Bernal, Oro Mensah, and Riley Osborne were all released from NXT, but most of those will have 30-day non-compete clauses, so it's a little bit shorter if you're in NXT. There was that memorable time, which is quite weird now thinking about the fact that he's back in WWE, but Aleister Black, I think it still had an NXT deal and then popped up in AEW ahead of schedule because nobody realized that he was still on that deal. That was the 30-day thing. So NXT talents could be popping up somewhere in the next month, so that's quite interesting just to keep your eyes on. They'll all be paid during this period and can prepare for the next career moves, is what it says there in the write-up that they've done at Fightful Select. And some in NXT actually knew that Jakara Jackson's release was coming, as they split from Lash Legend this week as well. So a lot to really examine there, I guess. Some really, I've said it earlier, I think it's a lot of information, but a lot of really reliable names have gone there, like Shayna Baszler, Braun Strowman, people like that, and even Caden Carter and Katana Chance, the people that had been used to get other people over. Same with Dakota Kai, actually, as I come to think of it, when it comes to the main roster. There were people that have been, you don't want to say enhancement talent, because I think that's completely unfair. They've been awesome in a lot of matches over the last year or so. Braun Strowman in particular has just broken his body for that company, putting over the likes of Jacob Fatu and Bronson Reed, and just gone above and beyond. And then he's been kind of rewarded there by saying, "Yep, cheers for that, bye." Not a great look. We don't know the full ins and outs of it. Braun Strowman might have been sitting there going, "You know what? Yeah, I've come to the end of my run. Is what it is." or he could have just been completely shocked and stunned by this, and it's just horrible if that is the case. But a lot of names there that could have done so much, and I think were quite wasted, really. Dakota Kai, a big one for me, that I'm like, you look at that talent in ring, she can go, she's very likable as a person, but then she can also go in that heel route as well. Like, there's just so much you could do with Dakota Kai. Shayna Baszler, they completely squandered Shayna Baszler. Like, we could do a full video on how they went wrong with Shayna Baszler after that really hot start, and then just dropping the ball completely. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance were like one of the few actual kind of tag teams that came in as a tag team, stayed together as a tag team within that women's tag team division. And it's not a division that's exactly stacked right now, so just getting rid of them again makes no sense. When I've seen them in the ring, the last couple of matches they've had, they've seemed to be kind of getting a bit of momentum under the belts. I think that's like the phrase we'll go with. But they seem to have just been like finding the footing a bit more. And I was like, okay, we finally, all right, we're getting there with this team. But then, nope, gone. When it comes to the NXT ones, the NXT names, like, I don't really kind of study NXT probably as much as I should. But a lot of those names, like I've seen Cora Jade over the years, she's been always a really watchable talent, like great charisma. So that's someone that's kind of shocked me right out of the gates. But I just hope that everyone lands on the feet and they just use this as fuel, really, to just like fire them through the next like year or couple of years, whatever it is, to maybe even reinvent themselves and just go stronger in the future. And that actually brings us quite nicely into the reaction from the wrestling world to all these shocking releases. And one person who knows a thing or two about taking a release and going, you know what, I'm going to reinvent myself, I'm going to go again, I'm going to make a massive like impact in the wrestling world, is Matt Cardona. He did it himself. He's literally like, look at me, it is possible. And he put on X, Twitter, whatever the hell it is, he put, to the recently released, you have 3 choices. Number 1, fade into obscurity. Number 2, coast off your WWE name. And then number 3, work your ass off, reinvent yourself, and make a lot of money and have a lot of effing fun. Love, the indie god. And that's a guy who did number 3, and he's never looked back, really, has he? So that's great advice, I'd say, from Matt Cardona there. Also, AJ Francis put on X again. He put, sometimes a release is a blessing, trust me. And he put like a dollar bag sign thing. So he knows a thing or two about that. Tegan Knox, well, Nixon Newell, as she now goes by, she put, imagine releasing talent like that. Place is effing insane. So yeah, she's not exactly keeping her thoughts on the matter quiet there. She's like, yeah, this is insane. It is insane. So many talented people just gone like that, just out of nowhere. It's crazy. For a company that earns as much money as WWE just to go, yeah, we don't need you anymore. All these like reliable people that have put the bodies on the line for like the last like couple of years, just gone. It baffles me. Keep them on the payroll. Come on. Like, people, we want to see people get paid. That's my little rant there about that. But it's baffling. It's a lot to get your head around. In response to, obviously, the news of his own departure, Strowman actually put a picture, I think it was on Instagram, with like a drink. He just put like a picture of him with a drink, so hopefully he's chilling. I want the best for Braun Strowman. After what he's done, even before he came back like to WWE recently, I was always like a bit of a fan of Braun Strowman. I like it. I like the chaos. Over the last like year or two, he's just given me so much joy in being a big man that just destroys things and just throws himself around a ring and just does so much to get this next generation of like big stars, big monster stars over. So I've got so much respect for Braun Strowman, and I raise a drink to you. I will raise a drink to you, my friend, later on today at some point. Shayna Baszler, my goodness, you can tell it's early morning. This face is melting. Shayna Baszler also put on X, no one can offer what I have to offer, reality. Let the galaxy burn. I like that attitude. That's it. I hope it just lights a fire in Shayna Baszler and she goes on a tear and just shows the world what she is capable of and what she should have been doing in WWE for so damn long, because I love an ass kicker, and Shayna Baszler is exactly that. So that's kind of everything on the releases. I'll let you guys just have a bit of a talk about this in the comments as well. Let me know your opinions on everything, where you maybe want people to show up, what you'd like to see from some of these releases, these people who've been released going forward, and just put some lovely messages really in the comments. Just be nice today, because it's probably an awful time for all these people at home just to be phoned up and say, yeah, you ain't got a job now. Awful stuff. So just send some nice messages. Don't be like comparing things and saying, oh, well, this person's gone, but this person's still on the roster. Don't do any of that. That's just negativity. We don't want it. Just send positivity to people. So the next thing we're going to talk about is TNA banning blading. So that's come out of I don't know, for me, that's kind of a bit of a shot this morning. So PW Insider have been talking about this. They've got an exclusive. They said TNA officials informed the locker room today that going forth, excessive blood and blading will not be permissible by the promotion. So they're not allowing it. It's not happening anymore. No more intentional cutting of the head or whatever. So the last match, apparently for now, that's going to feature any like excessive blood, like gory kind of visuals for TNA will be a dog collar match, and that's between the TNA International Champion Steve Macklin and Eric Young, and that was taped on the 1st of May in Irvine, California. So yeah, like 2 days ago that was filmed, and that's going to be the last really bloody match for a while, for the foreseeable anyway. The edict even was made official, and that was earlier, maybe yesterday, maybe earlier today. I can't really remember when this report dropped, but it was either yesterday or earlier, like today on Saturday, not sure. But in the case of like hard way blood, when it comes to like accidentally getting smacked in the head and bleeding, that kind of stuff, or like a bloody nose, bloody mouth, or just cut on the elbow, whatever it is, blood will be allowed because you can't, that can't happen, and then they sit there and go, no, you're not allowed to accidentally cut your head. Blah. Like, stuff happens, it's wrestling. It's going to happen. It was noted that it's understandable that sometimes you're gonna bleed because you're banging your bodies into each other and stuff happens. But purposeful, heavy bloodletting is a thing of the past, apparently, in TNA. Like, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. It's like trying to cut your head open, that kind of stuff, intentionally. No, not happening. So that was made, PW Insider was told, that decision anyway was made in order to protect the health of the talents, as well as keeping current and potential advertisers and partners in mind. Because, hey, let's be honest, if we're getting sponsors in, these companies coming in, giving money to TNA to kind of like advertise their product, and let's say they're more of a family-friendly product or whatever it is, like they maybe don't want to be associated with really bloody intense stuff, like, I get that. Like, it's not for everyone. It's not something that every brand kind of lines up with. Some of them it does work, some of them it doesn't. So maybe just better safe than sorry is the way TNA kind of approaching this for now, which, yeah, I get it. I understand it. So let me know your opinions on that, on TNA just banning blading now going forward. But something that I have a big opinion on right now, because it's affecting my Saturdays, and I know this is wrestling fan complaining about watching wrestling, world's smallest violin. I love wrestling, okay? I just don't love having to watch like...
Alright, I think that's about it. I think the last thing we were going to talk about was wrestling being 2 hours. It should be cool. I never cared either way, but, some people do.